Did you know that the frontal lobe of your brain, especially the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for things like reasoning, logic, judgment, emotional regulation, little things like that, is not through developing until you're in your mid-20s. I've even seen some articles that claim it can be as late as 30 for men. So basically, until you're in your late 20s, you're riding the short bus when it comes to decision making. Can you even say short bus? Can you? I don't know. I can't even keep up with what you can and can't say these days. Your lack of brain development is one of the reasons your 20s is such a crazy decade. You start out butt-chugging grain liquor at parties, bong hits, and thinking that it was a good idea to drink that hunch punch that somebody made in their bathtub, to hopefully being something resembling a human being by the time you're 30. But never fear, Uncle Jeremy is here to help you young bucks through the murky, murky waters that are your 20s. I made my fair share of shit decisions in my 20s just like anybody else. Now being damn near 46, I have some perspective on things that lots of guys do in their 20s that can ruin their lives. Maybe we start by calling these types of videos Sitting Down with Uncle Jeremy. Real talk with Uncle Jeremy. I don't know, maybe the uncle thing's just a little fucking creepy and weird. I don't know. Just sit down and listen up, Buttercup. You might learn something. Everything in moderation, including moderation. One of my favorite quotes by Oscar Wilde. I always took this quote to mean, don't do things to the extreme. Don't overindulge, especially in things that could be considered bad for you. But also, don't be afraid to occasionally let loose and indulge yourself. The key here is occasionally. Drinking a little too much or eating half the menu at Waffle House at 3 in the morning, occasionally, like a few times a year maybe, probably isn't gonna wreck your shit. Let's be honest, if you haven't been in or almost been in a fight at Waffle House at 3 in the morning, well, you're a better person than me, let's just say that. But if you're getting shit-faced regularly, partying every week, that can lead you down the wrong path. If you have an addictive personality, it can lead to alcoholism or drug addiction, which is bad at any age, but you certainly don't want to start your adult life off that way. Your decision-making is even worse when you're impaired than your normal shitty 20-year-old monkey brain logic, leading to some bad decisions that end up getting you beat up, locked up, or waking up next to something that looked like maybe a strong 9 or 10 last night, but now in the sober light of day looks more like a North Dakota 4, which, if my math is mathin', that's like a Florida 1. Looking like Jabba the Hutt, Bigfoot, and Janet Reno had a love child. For those of you too young to remember Janet Reno, maybe Rachel Levine might be a good modern equivalent.
Girl, no. No.
And that's best case. Worst case, you get into an accident or do something catastrophically dumb, get hurt or hurt a bystander and ruin your life or someone else's. Partying too much can also lead you not performing your best at your job or at just life in general. After a bender, it can be days before you're back to full capacity. Now that I'm in my 40s, it would take me 2 weeks to get back to my full capacity. Take it from an old guy. Your body doesn't recuperate as quickly once you get a little older. It's not good. I'm not saying don't have a good time. Your 20s are when you're supposed to cut loose occasionally. Hell, I have a straight wall of whiskey in the other room, but I don't even remember the last time I was actually drunk. I'm just saying, shut down the party before you get absolutely wasted, and don't party all the damn time. Everything in moderation, including moderation. A lot of things on this list come from folks in their 20s not being, let's say, forward thinkers. This one particular stems from people in their 20s usually assuming that they can treat their body like a rental car. Just use it and abuse it and it'll be okay. Just because your body tolerates eating like shit, sleeping like shit, and so forth, much better in your 20s than it does when you get older, doesn't mean you won't be better off starting good habits early in life. If you are fit, you eat right, you lift weights, do cardio in your 20s, it will be easier to maintain that level of fitness when you get older and it gets harder to do so. A lot of health issues are also cumulative. People don't generally get diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol just overnight. People don't generally go to bed thin at 29 and wake up 30 morbidly obese. It is a slow and gradual process of not being active and eating like shit year after year. Eating McDonald's 4 times a week, getting 4 hours of sleep, and slugging down energy drinks like you're sponsored by Red Bull may not hit you immediately, but it certainly isn't setting you up for success later in life. I talked about this in my last video on how to unfuck your life and in a video similar to this one I did about 3 years ago, and that's because I see a disturbing trend, especially here in America. People are more and more overweight and unhealthy than they've ever been in history. I want you guys to be happy, successful, and achieve your goals. And being in shape and healthy are a big part of making that happen. Your fitness level can have a direct impact on your health, your productivity, your resilience, your sleep, which then feeds back into your health. You look better, which leads you being more self-confident. So just because at 23 you have a six-pack no matter what you eat, doesn't mean you should. Some of this shit has long-term effects. Speaking of something that guys in their 20s almost certainly ignore because they think it'll be fine, the earlier you start taking care of your mug, the better off you're gonna be. Let's take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Tiege Hanley. God damn, I fucking nailed that segue. Man, these segues, I've been popping them lately, son, popping them. Tiege Hanley makes skincare systems specifically designed for guys just like you and me. I have talked about Tiege on this channel for probably at least 5 years now, and I was using their products a solid year before I ever had a relationship with the company because I really think this is great stuff. I use it every day. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. You get a daily face wash to clean you up, an exfoliating scrub to knock all that dead skin off, an AM moisturizer with 20 SPF to protect you from the melanomas, and a PM moisturizer. They also include a card with instructions on how much to use and when to use it, because if you're anything like I was when I started this, I had no clue how to use this stuff. Being a member also has cool benefits like 20% off retail price, ability to customize your box, exclusive deals, pause or cancel at any time, and free shipping in the US. Because the good folks at Tiege Hanley are sponsoring this video, they are offering my viewers a great deal, so just click on the first link in the description and you will get 30% off your first box, 20% off for life, and a free gift. That's a hell of a deal. And the new gifts are pretty dope. They actually start including like a nice nail grooming clipper set and a silicone scrubber to keep that ass clean. So just click the link down below to get started. Guys, Tiege is the longest partner on the channel, so big thanks to them for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. Give those guys a little love down below. Rehashing my previous assertion that folks in their 20s aren't always the biggest forward thinkers, with their monkey brains not really being fully done cooking yet, financial planning isn't always top of mind in your 20s. Most people in their 20s are about as good with money as a meth head from Missouri that won the lottery and then spent 200 grand on Slim Jim's Busch Light and Marlboro Reds. Folks in their 20s are also usually just beginning their careers or haven't even nailed down a career yet, so money usually isn't flush. They end up spending what little money they do have on dumb shit half the time, partying a lot, putting it on credit cards. We've talked about credit card debt in previous videos, so I won't beat a dead horse too bad, but buying shit you can't afford on a credit card in your 20s especially, it's bad anytime, but especially in your 20s, can set you back for years. Another type of debt that I see a lot of young people getting wrapped up in is student loans. Look, if you know you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an architect, or something that requires a degree, then college might be a good place for you to spend the early part of your 20s. But racking up debt with student loans for an art history degree so you can graduate and get a job making like 30 to 40 grand a year, maybe not the wisest move. And I'm not just picking on people with art history degrees. There are plenty of other degrees that are useless as shit. There are plenty of careers out there that don't require racking up student loans, and you can hit the workforce making good living with no debt. And lastly, it is never too early to start putting money away. A lot of folks don't think they need to start planning for retirement or for a rainy day in their 20s because they have plenty of time to worry about that stuff later. Without getting full on pocket protector, accountant, CPA, because I'm honestly not a numbers guy. If you start out early, because of the way compounding interest can add up, you don't have to invest a ton of money for it to add up and be a nice retirement. The later you wait in life, the more you have to put away per month to get the same result. And trust me, none of us want to be trying to rely on Social Security to survive when we get older. A, those checks are barely enough to get by on, and hell, there's no guarantee that shit will even be here by the time we all retire. Not to mention, you always want to have a little bit of a rainy day fund. Living check to check is never a good idea. If you get sick, something happens, you're out of work, you lose your job, you don't want to be out on the street. So earlier you start planning, getting your retirement squared away, and getting a little nest egg put away, the better off you're going to be. What do you get when you cross an underdeveloped frontal lobe, crazy high levels of testosterone, and probably the highest sex drive you'll ever have in your life? Well, one, a very high probability of it burning when you pee. But also an unhealthy obsession with women. If guys in their 20s put as much effort into their careers and finances as they did into chasing ass, they would probably be rich by the time they were 30. Guys spend a ton of money on flashy cars and dumb shit because they think it's going to impress women, lots of wasted nights in bars, not to mention the epic time suck of crappy relationships with women that you got hooked up with solely because they looked great in a bikini and they could suck start a Harley. Trust me. Most of these girls will eventually take you on a ride on the crazy train. Relationships that start off from a drunken night in a bar, usually, I'm not gonna say every single time, but usually are not the ones that are gonna last. I'm not saying not to have fun. Your 20s are the time to have fun and do shit like such. I've actually kind of always thought that getting that crap out of your system in your early 20s will make you a better husband later in life. But we'll talk more about that later. Don't put all your effort into chasing ass. Put an equal amount of effort into getting your life squared away. Your job, your career, finances, health, all the things. Your 20s are kind of your framing for the rest of your life. Building a good foundation will help you be more successful and happier later in life. A foundation built from excessive bar tabs and one-night stands may be less than optimal. As your 20s move along, it's inevitable your single friends are going to start dropping quicker than panties on prom night, and before you know it, you're surrounded by married people. And with that comes the increasing pressure to join Team Married. One of the biggest factors of a guy being successful is having the right partner. Being married to the right person can not only make your life way better, but also more successful. Having that person that cares for you, supports and shares your dreams and goals can be a powerful thing in building the life you want. But the reverse of that, being married to the wrong person, can really make life a big old pile of suck. Be careful when you're deciding to pop the question and put a ring on it. I made that mistake early in life. I married the wrong person. In retrospect, I think I saw all my friends around me getting married and I was getting nervous, so I just kind of settled. And boy, was that a couple years of drama bullshit. It sucked, and I was separated in less than a year and divorced just a couple months later. Luckily, I didn't have any kids or have time to really accumulate any assets in the short trial run marriage I had, because then shit would have been super complicated. Hell, the divorce rate in the US is damn near 50%. So it seems a lot of folks are making some bad choices in the old spousal department. So learn from your boys' mistakes. Take your time and find that person that is right for you. Being married to the right person makes everything about life much, much better. Being married to the wrong person can turn your whole life into a hot dumpster fire. I know a lot of these suggestions have been focused around being a little more responsible in your 20s, thinking things through, putting in some effort into setting your life up for success. And I know that shit all sounds boring. This is boring, Jeremy. Where's the good stuff? But going back to one of my favorite quotes, everything in moderation, including moderation. Your 20s are a pretty unique time in life where you are possibly the freest you'll ever be. You're old enough to be considered an adult. Well, kinda. I mean, we talked about the fact your brains are basically the same as like a 5-year-old. You're old enough to be pretty self-sufficient, but not old enough yet to have a ton of heavy responsibilities, a wife, children, career taking up a ton of your time, which means if you're gonna travel and see the world, be a little bit of a vagabond, this is the best time to do it. Traveling is the one thing I wish I would have done a little more of in my 20s. If you live here in the US, you don't even have to leave the country if planes and boats aren't really your jam. You can see some really awesome stuff and epic road trips right here in the good old US. This place is frickin' huge. If you want to party a little, be a bit of a man whore, travel, be selfish with your time, with your money, with whatever, point is, your 20s is the era when you can be all about yourself. Do the things you want to do when you want to do them. Get all that crap out of your system while you're still pretty light on the responsibilities. The older you get, the more you have to consider others. You'll have a wife, then you'll have kids. Your career will probably get more serious and require more from you. Your parents could potentially get older and need your help and support as they get into their golden years. So while you're in your 20s, get all this crap out of your system. Don't get married, and definitely don't have kids until you do. Because once you get married and have kids, you gotta stop being selfish because it's not about you anymore. All right, guys, Hopefully this was helpful for you. I like to do these. I'm gonna try to do a few more of these videos every so often. So the whole channel just isn't about, you know, products and different things and cool stuff in this. Occasionally it's just sitting down, having a little talk with you guys. You know, I feel like now that I am in my mid 40s, I do have some life experiences to share. It's important to me that all you guys are healthy and happy and achieve your goals. So if there's anything I can say that can help maybe steer you down the right path or give you some motivation, that's great. So we're gonna start throwing these videos in every now and then. I hope you guys like them. But before we go, we gotta do the giveaway from last video, which last video we were giving away one of the new Whiskies we dropped, but we did the 2 new Whisky glasses, the one that says the Hold Fast on it, the other one has the new skull logo. The links will be down below if you wanna check those out, but we were giving one of those away last video. So the winner for last video is Chill versus Chow. I think that's how you say that. Congratulations, my brother. You win a free new Whisky. Make sure you go to the About section on our YouTube page. We have our business email on there, and send us an email and we will get your address so we can get your prize sent out to you. Chill versus Chow says, great list, very similar to the list I created for my father-in-law. That was on the last video we did about Bang for Your Bucks whiskey. So you haven't checked that out, definitely go check it up. I'll link it up below. I'll link it up below. I'll link it up above. Jesus Christ. All right, for next week, next uploads giveaway, I should say. Let's do, well, we did Whiskeys last week. This week, let's do the Beard brand again. If you guys don't know, Bold Fortune is a line of products and collaborated with Beard brand to create. And we got a whole line of products in that fragrance. It's great stuff. Everybody I know that's ever tried it loves the stuff. We will give one of those away. We'll let you pick one. We've got the utility oil, utility wash, utility softener, beard balm or utility balm. So we'll let you pick one of any of the line of the Bold Fortune products with Beard brand, and we'll give that away for the next upload. So rules are, as always, you have to be a subscriber to both channels, both this one and our second channel, Jeremy Cyrus After Hours, where we do our live streams. You have to sign up for our newsletter, which you can do down below. You have to smash that like button. And then this week, let's do comment down below, hashtag monkey brain, because all you guys in your 20s have a monkey brain, and hashtag Bold Fortune. We will draw a winner live on the next upload. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one, got a little information, maybe a little motivation out of it. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next video. The 20s. God, man, 20s were a long time ago. Long time ago. You know what's funny though, is my body definitely knows I'm not 20 anymore, but in your brain, I think I stopped maturing at like 14. I still think dick jokes are funny. What can I do?